Hello you glorious YouTubers, welcome to my channel. This is Tiger Rose Rides. My name is Steve, and hopefully this is going to be my first vlog on my new Royal Enfield Classic 350 in Sandstorm. I'll show you around the bike later on once I get a chance, but for now suffice to say I am so chuffed. Talk about smiles for miles on a bike. Confession time, I only took my test 2 weeks ago, and obviously I'm still getting used to it, but I am so happy with all this now. I've been wanting a bike since I was 15, but joined the army at 15, life got busy as it was in those days, and still is I'm sure, and as a consequence I never either had the time, the money or the inclination then to get myself a bike, what with all the travelling around, getting married, getting children, etc, etc. So I'm now retired, and I thought, sod it, why not? If you're going to do it now, because otherwise it'll be too late. And I am really glad I did. It's brilliant. I love this little classic. I kind of took advice, let's say, from all those fantastic YouTube videos that are on YouTube, of course, that go on about the Classic 350. I actually fell in love with it. I think the first one I would have watched was one of Bingley Wheeler's. He was on his Classic 350 and absolutely screaming about it. So I watched more, and everybody that rode one and tested it and commented on it and tried to find fault on it absolutely loved it. In fact, there was even one video that had a thumbnail title of "Is this the worst bike in the world?" And he apologized at the end of it and said sorry about the title, but no, it is most definitely not the worst bike in the world. So after watching all those, I was convinced, and I've made the right choice. For what I want a bike for, this is exactly it. Now, I don't want to go on the motorway. I don't need to go on the motorway for what I want this for. This is just gonna be for the South Downs, for my local area, the local roads like this, which have a 40 maximum speed limit. It's exactly what I want it for. So at the moment, we've just gone through Sedgensworth. We're now coming into Fareham. I'm going to be taking a right up the hill ahead of us, and make my way back down to Gosport where I live. We'll go via the beaches and take a nice little ride back home. So what do I intend on doing with future videos, and in fact this video? There's two things I want to do. I'm sure there will be more, but there's two things I want to do. One of them is to talk about motorbike manufacturers that have gone under, that don't produce anymore or don't exist anymore. Up until recently you could have said that about BSA, but as you know, they've come back into business and are producing excellent bikes. But so I want to talk about them, and the first one will be Osborne Engineering Company, which also made motorcycles, and excellent motorcycles at that. So later on in the video I'll do a section on them. Also we do have a great deal of history in my local area, Gosport, Portsmouth, all around that area, up in Paulsdown Hill and everything else. There's loads and loads of historical places and events and such like. So what I'd like to do is do a 5-minute splurge on the sites that we've got and the historic events that have happened throughout history, obviously, around my local area. Now, just going to take a right here. So, as I say, I live in Gosport. I have done ever since I was 6 months old, when Mum moved over upon Portsmouth. I was born in Portsmouth. I love this area because right on my doorstep we have the South Downs, which stretches right up to Winchester and then down to Brighton. And there's some fantastic roads up there, you know, country roads that nobody ever goes on, apart from me, of course. And they're just fun rides. There's loads and loads of biker meeting places. We have Loomies. They often get down Lee. A Loomies was fun as well. I don't know if you've had it up there, but we have photographers down here that when they know there's a bike meet of some sort, they'll situate themselves on one of the major roads nearby that people will go home on or come in from, and take photographs and then publish them on the internet for people to buy should they want to. And they are really good photographs. I've got one of myself on my Royal Alloy scooter. It's an excellent job. Yes, I have a scooter as well, and so does my younger son. And talking of bikes within the family, my eldest son has the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. He's only had it 2 days. He absolutely loves it. Picked it up on, when did we pick it up? Saturday. It's now Monday. And we had them a really good ride around the New Forest. He clocked up 60 miles from New, and I going from Gosport down to the New Forest first, and then riding back with him. I clocked well over 100 miles that day, and I was just smiling ear to ear. I really was. Right, we're in Stubbington at the moment. I'm going to go straight through here to Lee on the Solent, and then we'll go on to Stokes Bay. So I'm just going to ride for a bit now and stay silent while I put in some history and the bike segment.
As I mentioned before, I'd like to talk about a bike company today called the Osborne Engineering Company, or as it's always been known as, OEC. Now, this company was originally formed as an engineering company by a bloke called Frederick John Osborne in 1906, and in the early days operated as such an engineering company. It wasn't until the early 1920s that OEC started to produce motorbikes at their 2-acre site in Lees Lane in my hometown of Gosport, under the adopted name of OEC Blackburn. Now, this parent was the bike manufacturer Burney and Blackburn Limited. They're a British manufacturer of motorbikes from 1913 to 1922. They were based at Tongham near Farnham in Surrey, where they produced their motorbike and aircraft engines. OEC used these engines until 1922. Probably not the aircraft engine, but certainly the bike engine. They used that until 1922, when they returned to their original name of just OEC. From this point, they started using the engines of John A. Prestwick, or more commonly referred to in those pre-war years as Jap engines. These engines were very successful and gained several records, especially in the speedway area, where they were hardly ever beat, enabling OEC to produce several outstanding bikes and winning the land speed record in 1926 with a 966 Jap engine and the OEC front fork arrangement, which by all accounts was great for going in straight lines. Not good for much else, but certainly going in straight lines. Eventually reaching a speed of 137.32 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the record was broken 1 month later by BMW, who reached 137.85. miles per hour, just 0.53 of a miles per hour faster. Undeterred, OEC marched on and regained the title of 150.7 miles per hour in 1930. And I'll just regress a little bit. In 1927, OEC exhibited its first bike with the duplex front fork arrangement. And it was from them they fitted it to all their models. They also announced a very unusual bike, which was known as the two-wheel car, which was wrapped in a sleek bodywork and had a tandem seat and steering wheel. In 1935 it was marketed as the Whitwood monocar, and as you can imagine it was a total failure and was discontinued in 1936. Now OEC's most successful road bike was the 500cc Commander, which had a top speed of 80 miles per hour. The actual bike is in the Gosport Museum, and I've been to see it many times. And although I can't find any weights and dimensions, you can see how very heavy and solidly built it must be. The company finally ceased production in 1954 because it never really recovered its bike production from having stopped making them during the war to turn their efforts to making components for the war effort. The site now in Lees Lane is a large industrial unit used for various small businesses. So that's this week's. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Any suggestions you like, I'm more than happy to research it and have a go. So let me know.
I'm not sure if you can hear in my helmet when I'm putting the indicator on, or the left hand side of it at least, a ticking. That ticking is when from the Indimate indicator reminder. Basically it's a Bluetooth device that you wire up very easily, I'll hasten to add. You wire up into your battery and the indicator cables, whether it be front or rear. And then when you put your indicators on, you've sort of paired up with the Bluetooth, it sounds off in your ear. With me, that's a godsend and a lifesaver, because I'm continually forgetting to turn off my indicators. This is a reassurance to me that I can just do it and be reminded to turn them off all the time. And to date, since being on the bike, I haven't forgotten a single indicator. About 85 quid, 87 pound.
Well, that's it for today. I've just noticed I'm roughly around about the 15 minutes now. I think that's long enough for anyone to listen to me. So I'm going to stop there. Next time I hope to get some history of Gosport in, or the surrounding areas, and another motorbike vid. I'm kind of new to this, so let's see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed the video. I like it if you did. Subscribe if you want to. If not, leave me some comments on how I can improve. Let me know. But until then, ride safe, stay safe, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.